Hey guys, what's up? It's Steve again. I'm just doing another Game Boy video after that last one because I have the Game Boy hooked up and I figured I should still do it, and there's some cool Game Boy games I got still that I should show off. So this one is going to be Super Mario Land, and let's get started because there's a lot of gameplay footage and there's a lot of cool stuff to show you. Okay, why not? Let's mess with the options a little bit on the Super Game Boy. Let's mess with the background. I guess I'll just leave it as the regular Game Boy background. And then let's try a few colors out, see if there's any good color palettes. And then we're gonna get to the game. I always thought this was a really cool feature of the Super Game Boy, to be able to change the colors and the background and stuff. It's pretty cool. So here we are with Super Mario Land. This game came out in 1989, and it was developed by, I forgot his name now. He's the developer of Metroid. He also made Dr. Mario. He's a really big Nintendo developer back in the day, in the early days of Nintendo, alongside Miyamoto, obviously the developer of Zelda and Mario, the regular Mario games. But in any case, I think it's pretty cool. It's a kind of a departure from the regular Mario game. Not really. I mean, obviously it's the same kind of platformer, but there's got a couple of different elements and a couple of interesting things in the game that I think make it pretty fun and make it a lot very interesting. I actually also have Mario 1 on the Game Boy, the deluxe Game Boy Color cartridge. And a lot of times I play this one instead because it's just it's interesting, it's got a couple twists on it, and Mario 1 I've really played to death. Probably all the rest you have, even though it is really one of my favorite games. So basically you're just like every other Mario game you've ever played. You run around platforming, jumping on enemies to kill them, and then your power-up is the fireball. This game came out before the later games with the extra power-ups, so you just got the fireball as a power-up. And, you get to hit the boxes, you can get mushrooms to become larger, and you can get the flower to get the fireball, of course, as always. One thing that I think is pretty cool about this game, that you'll see as it's coming up, is there are a couple levels that are like a different style. There's a couple levels where there's an underwater level, there's a flying ship level, and it kind of turns into like kind of a side-scrolling shooter, kind of like R-Type or something. And it's a lot simpler, but it's still cool to get a different sort of level in the game to change up the gameplay as you're playing. I'm going to show off a couple of the first few levels here. I'm going to try to vary it and show you the different locations. I think it's kind of cool how the locations are in this game. There's like pyramids, you're on Easter Island, you're underwater, you're in space. It's kind of a very interesting take on the game. And for a Mario game, I think it's pretty cool. I actually don't have Super Mario Land 2. I'd like to try it because I've heard so many good things about it. Okay, now through my obviously amazing journalistic skills, I found out what the name of the guy that made this game is, and it's a shame that I really didn't know because it's kind of ridiculous, but his name is Gunpei Yokoi, and he actually created the Game Boy. He was the creator of the Game Boy, and this was, if I recall, this was one of the launch games, and that's why he developed it for the system. And he's very well known for being the creator of the Metroid series as well. From what I was looking at, it seems like the Game Boy they were noting as his most notable achievement, and really it is, because the Game Boy when it came out was pretty amazing. And if he was the engineer of that, I mean, now we've already got so many Game Boys going on from there, and even the Nintendo DS now. So that, in addition to all the great games he helped create, he really is a pretty awesome guy. I'm not sure why I'd forgotten his name back in the begining there. I think I'm going to put a little annotation to show it there, rather than just have people have to wait to this part of the video. As I was saying before, I think this is a pretty cool idea here, this pyramid type level. And when it came out, before Mario 3, there wasn't really this pyramid type of scheme in the Mario game, so I wonder if they took the Mario 3 idea from this game, and the pyramid area in the game. But it's a pretty interesting thing. I like the Sphinx enemies and stuff like that. It seemed like he kind of went out there with this game, but it's very interesting, and I remember it being a lot of fun back in the day, and a lot of people having this game back in the day, and it was pretty much a Game Boy classic. And I'm sure all you guys that have had Game Boys have played this. I'm not really sure who didn't have a Game Boy back in the day. This part here is really strange to me because for some reason you're not rescuing Princess Peach. I think you're rescuing Daisy or something. It seems like it, but the text is so confusing here. It says, "Oh, Daisy," but no punctuation, and then she turns into something and escapes. And I can't really tell who is talking, and I don't know if I'm just nitpicking here, but it just really always confused me here, and it just made me laugh every time this happened in the game. Alright, I don't want to go overboard on footage here, so I've skipped a level there, and then I'm going to show you one more of these types of levels, and then I'm going to show you that last level I was talking about with the spaceship shooting, and when I beat that boss, that'll be the end of the video here, and at that point, there's definitely more game left, but if you haven't played this game, and you have a Game Boy, I'd be really very surprised, and if you haven't, you really need to pick it up. It's a must-have for the Game Boy, definitely. What I was saying here about thinking it was in space is, if you notice in the beginning there was like a UFO that beamed you down, and there's like these weird UFO-looking enemies. I don't know where he really went between the last level and here. I guess beamed up to space. I guess this is Mario's first appearance in space before Mario Galaxy. But in any case, that's what it seems like to me. I'm not really sure exactly what it's supposed to be. I mean, it is a Game Boy game, so it's kind of open to interpretation somewhat. But alright, so I'll cut off here with this part of the level, and then I'll show you guys the spaceship shooting part. That's one of the most fun parts, in my opinion. It's pretty awesome addition to the game. When I first played this game, I was really surprised with this level because I'd never seen Mario in any kind of a vehicle or whatever, and I think it's cool that he's in that submarine shooting missiles and stuff. It's a pretty cool idea, and this level works really well in my opinion. It's one of the funner levels in this game. It makes me want to get R-Type for the Game Boy, which I have never played, but I've seen some footage of it. It looks pretty good. And maybe if there's some other shooters. Right now, actually, the Game Boy is the only handheld I have, so that's the reason I would be thinking about picking up a Game Boy game. Because, I mean, some of you out there probably be thinking about picking up a shooter for the DS or something. I don't know if they really make them anymore, do they? It seems like side-scrolling shooters kind of died out. But I really wish they made more of them. They're a really big favorite of mine as far as the game genres behind fighting games, of course. Alright, right here I decide that I want to make it look like an underwater level because it's not Super Game Boy enhanced like that Bomberman game, so you kind of just gotta fold it on the Super Game Boy. I think it's still cool that I can do that, but I'm just gonna pick a watercolor and then we're gonna continue along the level here. But in any case, here you can see there's like these fish swimming at you. There's those seahorses shooting. I think those are seahorses shooting fireballs at you, and then they got the bricks obviously as the obstacle. And I think this is a pretty cool level. And you'll see there when I get to the boss too. I think it's a pretty cool idea. It reminds me a lot of R-Type, and it just makes me want to play some R-Type. So here we are nearing up to the boss fight. It's coming up in a second here. And then we're going to say goodbye after this. You really should play this game if you haven't played it. Once again, if you want to see more past this part, you got to play this yourself. It's a really fun game. Well, alright guys, as usual, thanks for watching. And this was obviously Super Mario Land, being played through the Super Game Boy. But it's a really awesome game, really fun Mario game. And it's not really one you'd usually include in the original set of games, but I think it really goes together well, and it's a pretty fun game. I just realized I actually also have Metroid 2, which is developed by the same guy, Gunpei Yokoi. Maybe I'll show that one off a little bit later if I get a chance. But anyway guys, thanks for watching as usual. Comment, rate, whatever the case is, if you like my stuff, and I'll see you guys later with another video.